Hey, DiJonai, DiJonai, how you feeling right now, girl? I'm trying to contact you about that extended warranty. You know, two weeks ago, you you posted on Twitter August 23rd, which is, oh, would you look at that? Oh, that was today. DiJonai, when you said August 23rd, what did you mean by this exactly? I think the fans want answers. We were expecting, some vengeance that you created. We were expecting a huge game. We were expecting something.
Today, DiJonai Carrington completely humbled by Caitlin Clark, and then she gonna try to shoulder shrug Caitlin. Caitlin like, girl, get out of here, bruh. I just bust you, pick your face up off the floor. Caitlin Clark hit a logo 3 in her face. Then she was trying to mock. Caitlin Clark got the tech.
15 minutes, she dropped 7 points, shooting 3 for 11 from the field. Now the real tweet that you should have posted, DiJonai Carrington, should have been March 11th, because if I had known that you was gonna shoot 3 for 11 on August 23rd, I would have I would have commented that under your post sooner. You came and you lived.
15 days before the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever faced each other again, DJ Carrington sat down and typed out 2 numbers, 8-23. That was it. No caption, no explanation, nothing else attached to the post. Just a date shared shortly after she'd been ejected from a game against Indiana for a flagrant foul, tagging the Fever on her way out the door. And if you know anything about how these things work online, you already understand what that post was really saying beneath the surface.
Bag, DiJonai, clout chaser, Carrington. Careful what you wish for, DiJonai. Be careful what you wish for. You're the one that circled 8/23 on the calendar. You're the one who tweeted out 8/23 as if it was some date we all should pay attention to. And people paid attention and saw you. Ooh, you had a bad game. Oh, but 8/23. Fair. Caitlin Clark makes 8 3-pointers. The Indiana Fever win by 23 points. Great foresight on your end, DiJonai Carrington.
It wasn't just a reminder on the calendar. It felt like a promise. DJ Carrington was letting everyone watching know that when these two teams met again on August 23rd, she would be prepared, ready to make a statement, and determined to have her moment of payback against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. But then August 23rd finally arrived and passed. And it's safe to say that the moment unfolded nothing like DJ.
This clip is going viral of Caitlin Clark getting poked in the eye by DiJonai Carrington. It happened in the first quarter when Clark tried passing the ball to her teammate Aaliyah Boston, but Carrington poked Clark in the eye while trying to deflect the pass. No foul was called, but Clark had to take a second to regain her composure. In the third quarter, DiJonai was defending Caitlin again when Caitlin hit DiJonai in the head, knocking out one of her contacts. No foul was called, but DiJonai had to take a second to put her contact back.
The tension between DJ Carrington and the Indiana Fever didn't suddenly appear on August 8th. This rivalry has been building for years, dating all the way back to Clark's first WNBA playoff game in September 2024, when Carrington made contact near Clark's right eye while defending a pass intended for Aaliyah Boston. Clark immediately went down while holding her face in clear pain. No foul was called on the play, and she went on to finish the entire game with a noticeable black eye, which quickly became one of the biggest storylines.
Did you, when you went and kind of swatted at Caitlin, did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am. So yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like there was later on in the game they caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her. So I can't laugh about something I didn't know happened.
Both players later described the contact as unintentional. And when you watch the replay, it genuinely looks more like a quick, split-second basketball play than something that was deliberately done. Still, that moment quickly turned into a storyline of its own, being replayed over and over, debated across social media for days, and planting the first real seeds of tension between these two particular players. Ever since then, nearly every Fever Sun or Fever Sky matchup where Carrington has been defending Clark has seemed to carry an added edge, with a little more back and forth, a little more physicality, and a level of intensity that goes beyond.
What's going on here? Goo! That's assault, brother. You can't do that. What the fuck? Is this just the default if you can't think? Or if you just like don't want to take accountability for your actions? Oh my god, this league, bro, this league. White privilege while you're wearing a bleach blonde dyed wig. I mean, the fuck? What is privileged about that? You stone cold Steve Austin clothesline.
Back on August 8th in Chicago, Carrington came rushing in from behind during a fast break and made contact with Sophie Cunningham around the head and neck area as Cunningham was finishing her layup attempt. The officials reviewed the play, upgraded the call from a common foul to a flagrant 2, and DJ Carrington was ejected from the game immediately, heading to the locker room before the second half even began. That part, fair or unfair, depending on your perspective, is simply basketball. Hard fouls happen, players get ejected, emotions rise during intense games, and normally that would be the end of the story until these two teams eventually met again. But DJ Carrington didn't allow it to end there. And that's exactly where this entire situation began growing into something much bigger than a single eject.
You hit her in the head and you drew blood. It was a flagrant 2. You should have been ejected. No more, no less. Have we seen Sophie Cunningham aggressively foul an individual before and not get thrown out of the game? Sure. Have we seen Caitlin Clark aggressively foul an individual by hitting them in the head and not get out of the game? Absolutely. But if we are paying attention to what DiJonai Carrington did to Sophie Cunningham, it was not a race-based decision. And to call that a white privilege-based foul is to completely undermine the term of white privilege and to also completely ignore the rules in basketball. You hit her in the head, you drew blood, you didn't connect with the ball at all whatsoever.
Minutes after being sent to the locker room, Carrington posted the phrase white privilege on social media and directly tagged the Indiana Fever in the post. That single sentence transformed what could have been a routine ejection into a national story almost overnight, with casual fans, sports radio hosts, and television pundits all debating what she meant and whether the accusation was fair given the circumstances surrounding the foul. Carrington later responded to some of the backlash, explaining that she never specifically said the flagrant call itself was directly caused by racial bias, and noting that she had studied structural inequality at a leading university before publicly using that kind of language. Maybe that clarification was completely accurate, and perhaps there was more nuance to her original message than many people online.
Djonai Carrington, bookmarking this day just to get embarrassed by Caitlin Clark. The big bad wolf coming through, blowing houses down until she tried to blow down the Caitlin Clark brick house that was built by DiJonai. This lady was 3 for 11. 3 for 11, 0 for 3 from the 3. A terrible performance. My goodness. Tried to come out and take the show, right? Tried to create her moment. And guess what, DiJonai? Now your name is DiJonai Who Carrington. Who cares? Oh my goodness. 8:23, everybody. 8:20.
So that's the real backdrop heading into August 23rd. DJ Carrington carrying the weight of a controversial ejection, a viral and heavily scrutinized social media post, and a very public warning aimed directly at Caitlin Clark and the entire Fever organization. Fans on both sides of the rivalry already knew what this next matchup was supposed to be about long before the opening tip. This wasn't simply Sky versus Fever anymore, with two teams battling for playoff positioning in a crowded standings race. It had become DJ Carrington's attempt to prove a point on a stage she had created for herself, showing the basketball world that the backlash hadn't rattled her, and that when these teams met again, she would be the one setting the tone from the opening tip. That's an enormous amount of pressure to place on yourself through a public post 2 full weeks before the actual game. And it's exactly the kind of self-imposed pressure that can backfire once the ball goes up, the crowd gets loud, and the cameras start rolling for real.
used to play on the court as a rookie, that she brings a defensive mentality.
That'll be the first personal on DiJonai Carrington.
Fast forward to the second quarter of the actual game on August 23rd. Chicago was holding on to a slim 4-point lead at that moment, which, to be fair, was more competitive than many people expected from this particular Sky roster against this version of the Fever. Carrington was defending Clark closely on a drive into the paint when she was called for a blocking foul, but instead of simply accepting the whistle and getting back into defensive position like players routinely do throughout a game, she immediately began arguing with referee Charles Watson. She threw her head back dramatically, appeared to exaggerate the contact, and even seemed to sell a bit of contact herself while accusing Caitlin Clark of being the one who flopped on the same play. If that sounds strangely familiar, it's because this isn't exactly new behavior from DiJonai Carrington when facing Clark. She made a remarkably similar move, with the same accusation and dramatic body language, years earlier during a Fever Sun matchup while she was still playing for Connecticut. At this point, it has almost become
a game that DiJonai Carrington had circled on her calendar and wanted the world to see happen tonight. And how did it turn out? Caitlin Clark had 37 points, 10 assists, 8 threes, and we got this lovely reaction. But I want to point out something that happened in the game. Some of the Chicago Sky, including DiJonai Carrington, to me, were looking for a fight this game. And Caitlin, instead of talking about it in the media, just did it with her basketball skills, and this is one of the plays that happened.
Indiana can regain the lead. Clark, another step back three. Yes. And a little bit of passion afterwards.
You love it. This is...
So DiJonai purposely runs into Clark, and then Clark just waves her off. Just waves her off. You can tell that Clark was just over that storyline and with that rivalry.
Here's where things became genuinely uncomfortable for DiJonai Carrington, and this was the exact moment everyone online immediately focused on once the clips began circulating. Roughly 30 seconds after that dramatic exchange with the referee over the alleged flop, Caitlin Clark calmly brought the ball up the court, created a clean, uncontested look well beyond the three-point line, and knocked down a step-back logo 3 right in front of Carrington. It wasn't a heavily contested shot that somehow found its way in, and it wasn't a lucky bounce off the rim. It was a smooth, confident, in-rhythm three-pointer from nearly 30 feet away, coming almost immediately after Carrington had spent much of the previous half-minute trying to convince an official that Clark was the one exaggerating the contact on that possession. The timing could hardly have been worse if someone had deliberately scripted the entire sequence for maximum comedic effect.
We have Caitlin Clark cooking DiJonai Carrington's boots, and then DiJonai Carrington goes out of her way to bump into Caitlin Clark as she's running down the floor. Let's take a look.
Clark, another step back three. Yes. And a little bit of passion afterwards.
You love it.
DiJonai Carrington bumps into Caitlin Clark. Watch this. This is the funniest part. And Caitlin Clark treats her like Raven Johnson in South Carolina and says, please, look how disrespectful this is. This is a you're not even worth my time type of wave off. This is a not even worth my time type of wave off. Damn, not even worth it. You're not even worth it. Look at this. Wasting my time. DiJonai Carrington.
And then, almost immediately after watching that shot drop cleanly through the net, cameras appeared to catch DiJonai Carrington making deliberate contact with Caitlin Clark as both players jogged back up the court in transition. The officials did not call a foul on the play, allowing the contact to go uncalled as the game continued. But for everyone watching at home, the moment still appeared to say plenty on its own. It looked like pure frustration from a player who had just spent time arguing with the referee, then watched Clark answer with a deep logo 3 roughly 30 seconds later. Whatever the intention behind the contact, the sequence quickly became another major talking point because Clark wasn't even looking for a confrontation. She simply continued jogging up the floor, stayed focused on the game, and let her performance on the court speak for itself from that point forward.
See what America's team, the best team in the league, with the best player on the field today. Let's see. Oh, come here. Yeah, historic night. Okay.
Okay, best player in the league. Ooh, look at how she's diamond. Look, when the team is ran through Caitlin, look at how beautiful it is. Okay. Oh, Caitlin on the defense. Look at that. Defense. They say she don't play it. Okay. Swing it. Oh, swing it. Oh. Freeze.
And misses that one. Indiana can regain the lead.
I want some more. You come back.
Clark, another step back three. Yes.
Because here's what actually happened for the rest of that night. While Carrington appeared to be looking for some kind of reaction from her, Caitlin Clark simply took over the game. She finished with 37 points and 10 assists, knocking down 8 three-pointers along the way in an incredibly efficient shooting performance from a player who had been accused of flopping less than a minute earlier in that same quarter. The Fever didn't just beat the Sky that night. They dominated them from beginning to end, winning by a commanding 23 points. Given that Carrington had highlighted this exact date weeks earlier as her opportunity to make a statement against this opponent, the final margin felt especially significant. The scoreboard ultimately read 113-90, and those 23 points of separation looked like a pretty clear response to the 8/23 post she had shared 2 weeks before the game.